Hello and welcome, 2D Gamer back again. And well, today I was geeking about trying to put two Windows XP computers that didn't work, or to put two different computers together that didn't work, and make a retro XP rig out of two rigs I already owned. Because I was looking online, and I was going to build an XP rig off of parts and whatnot, but for the price that these old components are, that the eBay sellers or Amazon sellers or sellers are asking for a crappy potato Windows XP computer, the prices they're asking for, I could actually build a modern rig on a budget build, of course, if I was going to buy all those components. But it turns out I have two computers that are, well, one kind of did work, but I needed to get a processor fan for it because I accidentally broke the fan. But either way, my ignorance towards computers is shown in this video as I mistakenly call the wrong card, say, oh, that's an AGP slot or that's a PCI Express slot. I rarely upgrade computers, maybe once every 10 years, give or take, so I only pay enough attention to not get a horrible computer, but something functional. I'm currently using a Walmart pre-built potato, but that's because I only wanted it for editing and not for gaming. But in the future I might buy a budget build PC, just maybe not for like super modern gaming on the PC, but something intermediate. See what I missed in the last 10 years of PC gaming, give or take. But the reason is this footage you're watching here, which is legitimately Quake 2 running off of my old Dell Dimension 2400, which has a Celeron C processor. Yes, the C word of processors that nobody likes. But the problem with that is, well, I found out an adapter that adapts VGA to HDMI, and I found it at Walmart of all places, just a $30 adapter. I was just looking in their little thing, and because I was going to order one online, and I accidentally ordered the wrong cord that turns HDMI into VGA. I'm like, wow, this is really helpful, thanks. I swear I ordered but then like a couple days later I was at Walmart, and then boom, there it was. And so I've already uploaded on my gameplay samples channel just a little bit of gameplay of Quake 2. I don't know why I'm doing it the hard way. Obviously, you could just run a virtual PC and run Windows XP and play all those old games if you want. And that's the easy way of doing it. I just kind of like geeking out, just seeing if I can, build a, fix or... I'm terrible. I'm terrible. This video, you'll see at the end. I had a little bit of success, but... spent an entire day on this project, and a little bit of success. There's a little hope. I have to order a fan because I broke one a while ago. A couple years ago I broke the fan on one of these computers, and it was actually kind of important. And then I decided to swap. I don't know. So I was just mostly experimenting. I grabbed my camera. I don't even know. I wasn't even actually expecting to make it into a video. I was just messing around at first, and I was like, may as well. So you can see how terrible 2D is at building computers, at least retro computers. I didn't grow up with a PC, so I don't have that, PC geek knowledge, like I do with, you ask me about one PlayStation 1 game, give me 3 things on a PlayStation 1 game that you don't remember, and I can generally tell you the viewpoint, what kind of gameplay it was, and generally, and maybe something about the graphics, or if it was, the character that you were playing as. And generally I can tell you, unless it's some obscure European PAL game that never made it to America. But you ask me about PC things, and I kind of know what I know from the PCs I've had. But other than that, yeah, I'm definitely... you don't want me to build you a PC. Let's just say this. I'm terrible, so... forgive the noob factor in this. The goober mistakes. Oh, that's an AGP card, or... No, that's a PCI... Yeah. Oh my goodness. But here's how I spent my Sunday today. So, with no further ado, I just figured I'd share it, and I'll be back. A lot of this is so I can actually cover retro PC games, and it might just be easier to run a virtual PC. And I might, assuming if this stuff doesn't work out and I don't get a working XP rig, even though I had one, but it wasn't a great one, the video would constantly be cutting out sometimes in the middle of a game, and then like nothing would display. I'd switch it to like a regular monitor, and it was like dead. So I need something a little better than a Celeron C processor at 2.4 gigahertz single core. So we'll see. If I don't get this, I'll just do the virtual PC or find another way to do it. But because I wanted to cover some, old school like Quake 2, Unreal Tournament, and a few others. Not Unreal Tournament, old Unreal. I actually have never played a regular Unreal Tournament on the PC, that is. Maybe I should get my hands on that. Well, it'd be helpful if I get a retro rig. And it's probably just easier to buy the GOG versions of these games or the Steam versions, which are, just play them on Windows 10 computer. But, I don't know. If I like to geek around. Like, it fascinates me, even though I'm not super knowledgeable or intelligent on this subject. But since this video is already going to be long enough, with no further ado, here is my terrible, and typical for 2D when it comes to computers. Milling around with two XP computers to kind of results. I'm just waiting on a fan then, because the processor I was using, well, it started to smell like burnt plastic, which isn't good. But anyway, no further ado. Here's what I did today, and here's how I spent my Sunday, December the 27th, 2020. Hello and welcome, 2D Gamer here again, and today is my little potato project. These two computers here do not work, but they have interchangeable parts. I'm going to try and take this Sony Vaio and this, what is this, a Dell. I took the faceplate off. I remembered what it was. What? I don't remember. I'll put it up, but I'm going to take this Dell and this Vaio to make a working Windows XP rig. This one works, by the way. This is the old Dell I used to make videos on until I upgraded in like 2007, but it has a horrible thing inside. Celeron. And I'm trying to run some XP games through my capture card. I know it's a lot easier just to get a virtual PC and run it like that, but I found this weird little thing at Walmart, this J5 VGA to HDMI adapter, and I've actually used it to record some Quake 2 footage off of this thing. The only problem is sometimes it just cuts out. I don't know if this thing's finally having issues. One of the hard drives blew, and so in order to have a backup Windows XP computer, I'm going to try and put these two together as a computer. Two into one. I don't know, this one's got a Vive, whatever, and this one's got a Pentuim D. So I'm not sure which one's the better processor. We'll see. I'll have to look it up and research and decide if I'm going to, and I also have, old graphics cards too, in order to use for this build, if you will. Okay, so that's a Dell XPS 400. Should I run you through the process of what I do? No, I'm not really that advanced like all the PC build channels, but I found this at my local Goodwill. It's a GeForce FX 5200. It's got an AGP slot, and neither of these two computers have AGP. Inside my own old Radeon 9000 box, though, I have more random graphics cards. I don't know which ones work, which ones don't. So I have a couple of PCI ones that should work decent, including my old Radeon is an AGP, but hey. So this one is a XFX. Not sure 120 megabyte DDR-TV, DVI, PCIe. Again, I'll have to figure out which one. What? I'm not sure what card this is exactly. Oh, GeForce 6600 LE. We'll see if that one works. I think I've tried it in the past and it doesn't seem to. There's my old Radeon 9000. Wait, this one is actually PCI Express. I thought it was AGP. No, it's AGP. Oh, look like I'm an idiot. Obviously, that's AGP. That's AGP. Good. What a goomba. Then I have this Radeon XT Sapphire. So I can try that in one of these rigs, and then where's this video? GeForce 6 NVIDIA GeForce Series 6. Maybe this is the one I tried that is bricked out. So we'll see if that works. And then here's my old. This processor definitely won't work in any of those computers because this is an old AMD processor from my old Alienware rig. Yes, I bought it pre-built years and years ago because I had no idea. So it's an ATI 3500 DEP. I don't know. I'm not really super geeky into the tech side of things, but we'll see if I can take this computer and this computer and build a Windows XP rig. If not, at least I tried. So we'll see how this goes. Again, this one works, but I'm pretty sure it's on its way out. So interestingly enough, for this Dell, is this thing does not have a PCI Express slot. So I had to buy a GeForce 6600 PCI graphics card in this beast. It only fits into the PCI slot, but it's worked very well. It's 512 megabytes or 5. Let me see. GeForce. Oh, 6200. That's right. 512 megabyte DDR2. But anyway, so this is my only currently working XP rig, and I put in a separate power supply. I'm not quite a tech hoarder, but I do hold on to a lot of old PCs. Maybe the power supply is dying, and maybe that's why I'm having issues like the middle hard drive. And that's the main hard drive, but this hard drive, helpful if I actually looked instead of just looking through the camera, ended up blowing out, and it's like a 200 gig, but anyway. We'll see if I can just take two old machines and monster them together. And I'll have to look up to see if I should use this one's processor or this one. So we'll see which one's better, because this is a Pentuim D dual core, perfect for Windows XP. And I don't know what the Vive is. Someone said it's a command set over a chipset, so we'll see what the difference is. And well, that's just my update, my little side geek project of building an XP computer out of two computers I already own, because I looked online to try and build one, and for the price I could build a budget build modern PC for a lot of the parts and stuff that people are asking. So I'll just see what I can make out of what I already have. Again, these AGP cards, not going to be used, but maybe one of these PCI Express ones works, and we'll see. We'll see. Well, I'm in luck because these processors are the exact same processor. Again, I got both of these computers from two different friends over the years. I've been meaning to do something with them, and I didn't realize how interchangeable they were. For example, the RAM I can take directly out of this Sony and put here in the Dell. I think I'm going to use the Dell case and motherboard. I'm not sure what the Sony one is. I'll have to look that up later. The Sony one's better. Maybe I should switch back to that one. But the only real problem is with this processor fan, I accidentally broke one of these blades. So every time I turn it on, it just sounds horrible. Meow. Meanwhile, this is what the Dell came with for its cooler. So, I don't know. I might change out the power supply, switch out, because this one's just a, you know, regular Dell. What was it? It's a thing. So 375 watt, whereas this one has an Intermax and it's 460 watt. Where is it? So this one has a little bit more power, and then I can always have this on standby. But both of these, I've booted this one up. I've tried to boot this one up and just got a horrible noise, but that's because it didn't have any RAM in it. So the Sony has this exact same interchangeable RAM. They have the same processor, so kind of lucky that I got two. Well, this one I ended up putting Linux on because I didn't have an operating system, and I never got it running up for XP. And I know this hard drive works. Again, this one was given to me by a friend. I don't know if this hard drive works, so I'm going to pull out this one and put it in here. Yes, I know everyone's talking about SSDs, but I'm gotta go with what I gotta go with, and since this is a free build from two PCs I got for free, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully I can get it up. If I fail at this, you'll never see this video. Alright, back to work. But it's really cool that I have the exact same processor. So it's a Pentuim D 820 SL88T, 2.8 gigahertz, 2M. I don't know what any of this means. I'm not really a good tech geek as far as, but so I got DDR2, PC 4200, and I got a couple more sticks here in this Veil to use as well. So I'm not sure. So that's 512. We'll see how much RAM. It'll be totally more than the not even a gigabyte that I have in that my working Dell. So 512 and probably a 512. So it'll be 1.5 gigs of DDR2 once I get it configured right. Yep, 512. So sweet. See how this budget build goes. Hopefully these graphics cards, at least one of them works, you know. And there's no AGP slot on either of these motherboards, so it's got to be one of the PCI Express. Plus this one already had one in there, but I don't know. It just seems probably like whatever default Dell one it was. I think this thing, there we go. Hope if I could figure out how to take the graphics card out. Doing this one-handed is no fun, but we'll see. Okay, so this is what was in here. No idea what this is. See, made in China. I don't know. But if none of the other ones work and this one does, I'll have to go with that until I can get something better. But yeah. So, oh, great. Yeah, I know I'm banging things around. And I don't have an anti-static bracelet, but again, these are already non-working PCs. What's the worst that can happen? They just don't work. I don't know, bad attitude to have, but anyway, back to work. Transferring parts, transferring a power supply, and again, I'm going to use the XPS case one because it looks cooler, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And it's got like that big, again, it doesn't have a fan though, at least, so we'll see. Hopefully there's no heating problems with the processor because it doesn't have a fan on it. I don't know how hot the Pentuim Ds get. Alright, so I got the new power supply put in there. Did I put that in upside down? I hope not. No, because the fan's there. Haha. So, I can't read the specs on it anymore because it's separate case backwards, but it's fine. I'll hold on to this Dell one right here, just as a backup, but oddly enough there's this strange gap right there. And sorry if I'm doing this wrong. At least it's not as bad as that one Verge video, though. Because, well, like I said, I don't have a table, so I guess I can't build a PC. But, and again, no anti-static thing. If I break something, these were already non-working computers that I got for free. Now I shouldn't be so, nonchalant about it, but hopefully I can get these to run unless I screw them up. But so, yeah. So I got the bigger power supply, and again, there's a slight gap right here, as you can see. But, and I was looking up the motherboards. They're similar. This one has obviously the Dell one, and this is what was that? An Intel, the Sony, hold on. What did I? So Intel desktop board, D945 PPR, and this is a Dell XPS 400 motherboard, whatever that has. So they're similar. Nothing, probably not spectacular about either. Except the Dell doesn't have any onboard graphics, whereas this one does. So again, if this one blows out or doesn't work, but I have, like I said, I've booted it. I just got that beep beep noise because it didn't have any RAM in the computer. So maybe I should try and boot it up to see if there's an operating system on the hard drive that my friend gave me. Of course, I'm going to wipe it, so he ain't got to worry about any data or anything. Well, I'll just continue building and try and finish it and then see if it'll work. And yes, I'll figure out cord management, because yes, this is a, PC builders and PC gamers, it's their big, yeah. How did that fit in this smaller case? And it's twice as monstrous on this one. Oh well. Alright, back to building or playing and tinkering. Again, I don't know if this is going to work. We'll see. Alright, I've got the RAM in. That should be right, according to the manual. I don't know. If not, I'll just change it around. And again, I'll figure out cable management eventually, but only if this thing actually works. No point in managing all the cables and making it look all pretty if you have a computer that doesn't work. I might try and boot it up with this hard drive to see if he had an operating system on it. Yeah, and as far as disk drives, I have, maybe this one will work. It was in my old Dell and it didn't seem to be reading. If not, I have an extra disk drive in this one I can use, and there's another drive I can pull out of my old Dell if this computer works and works better, so that way I can part out whatever I need to. Again, I already have everything I need to build a XP computer just based off of two old dead computers. Speaking of which, what is this? So this is a Seagate 80 gigabytes. So I don't know how well that one works. This one, I'm not sure. I'll have to pull it out and see. I forget what I had in this one. This one might be an 80 gig as well. So, but anyway, onward and upward to the build. Well, the Frankenstein build of two broken computers. Now making, hopefully, one working computer. Also, I mean, it's only 1.5 gigs of data, but again, I'm running things like Quake 2 and old Unreal and Quake 3, so I'm not trying to run Crysis on this XP computer. I'd build something newer if I wanted more modern, recent games. So, and for Quake 2 and old Unreal, this computer will be overkill. So, and we'll see what other middle games. Maybe Doom 3. Maybe I can get Doom 3 running on this. I do actually happen to have Doom 3 on the PC. So, and Half-Life 2, and a few others. They're just scattered in multiple totes. So, we'll see if I can find those games. But, anyway, on to the build and skip forward in time. So this is how incredibly tech-savvy 2D is. Turns out this Radeon Sapphire is also an AGP card, and I don't have the AGP slot. Lovely. So I have to go with trying this Was it GeForce 6600 LE 120 megabyte DDR, whatever. So we'll see if that works. I don't know what the onboard graphics card was, but it's definitely probably not better than this. We'll see if this runs. If not, I can always try that GeForce 6, but I don't know if I've ever gotten that GeForce to run. But we'll see. One or the other. Also, I had to put in this big fan shroud thing again, just so I could figure out how to run cables around it. Cable management again is probably going to be pretty gnarly looking, but I'll figure it out, like I've said before. But pretty much got everything I need except for maybe this CD drive right here, so I can install my copy of Windows XP. Okay, so my guess is there were clips or something on this case to hold the drives in, because there's only a screw hole on this side for the hard drives. Not the hard drives, the CD drives. And the hard drive if you want it, but and then there's nothing on this side. So I don't know if it needs clips, but my solution was taking some of the screws off of that Vio, what's left of it, and putting it on the side of this disk drive. And you gotta screw them in enough to jam them in the hole, and then they should fit right. But you gotta make sure they're screwed in just enough that they don't get caught in there, so you can pull the drive back out as needed. But so that acts as sort of a little clip for this drive, and I'll just put the screw in this other side, and it should fit just fine. Right there. And that's still going to leave a problem with the big gaping hole right here. If this thing works better than my old Dell, I can pull out its old A drive, or I can just find a way to cover it. I can put in another drive if I find another working one right here. That'll close the gap a little, but it'll still look a little, even with this little faceplate on it, it's still gonna look, wait, oh, never mind. Problem solved. I didn't even look at the faceplate. This is how technical 2D is whenever he builds a computer. Don't break that. Well, so if I want an A drive, I can punch out the hole, but the A drive in my potato XP computer is kind of faltering, so, but I can put one in if I need one. Alrighty, so I have my $5 thrift store Dell monitor, my old Alienware keyboard, and a USB mouse plugged into the front, and just in case, my handy-dandy fire extinguisher. Because I don't know, and I don't play like that, and I know my luck, so monitor on, and let's see what happens when I hit the power button, if I did anything screwed up or not. Whether or not I'll show this video or not depends on right now. So turn it on. Well, that's a bummer. What did I do wrong? Oh, power supply. Turn the power supply on. Duh. That's got to be the issue right there. Right? No? Oh. Oh. That just tried to boot up by itself. Alrighty. Does power button work? Alrighty. Well, nothing's happening. What did I screw up? Possibly my graphics card. And again, it won't shut off. Oh, there we go. Try it one more time. Okay. Round 2. Listen to that fan go. Huh. This monitor should work. Just might be the graphics card that doesn't. Alright. No bueno. Well, I had a onboard graphics card in my old area, not Area 51. I wish that's what I had. Alienware, and something burnt out. It was either the graphics card or on the motherboard, and it just wouldn't display, and it doesn't have an onboard graphics card, so you can't just boot to the motherboard. So maybe that's the issue here. We'll see. I'll swap out the graphics card though, just to see. And if anything, I'll just use the one that was in it. Because I know this monitor should work. As far as I know. I think I've used it before. Actually, I have used it before, so. Alright. New graphics card. Maybe that's the issue, maybe it's something else. We'll see. Alright, this is why I hate messing with computers. New graphics card, same thing. Fun. Well, if anything, I have my backup motherboard over there if this thing's goobered out, and I don't know. So I don't really want to use that case. That case sucks, but this one looks cooler. Oh well, if it don't work, I ain't gonna mess with it. But still nothing. Let me double check the connection. Alright. Trying it with the card that was in there. See if... Nope. No dice. What a pain in the butt. Well, let me try a different monitor. Yep, new monitor and no display still. I don't know if there's something I was supposed to... I don't know what I did or did wrong. If there's pins in there, some way you got to do it on the motherboard. But when it doesn't have an onboard display, it's a very loud fan, but when it doesn't have an onboard display, you can't really troubleshoot it. It's just potato bricked. So now what do I do? Because like I said, there's no onboard display for this motherboard. Let's see, I'm thinking. I don't know. I'll figure something out. So right now this is a failed Windows XP PC build, even though I had all the parts. I don't know what's wrong. Maybe all these graphics cards are dead and gone. Maybe there's something on this motherboard that ain't working. I don't know. Technology. But, could transfer everything back over to this case, the VAIO case. The only problem being the fan in it is broken and it's so obnoxiously loud and noisy. I'll figure something out. Maybe I'll use my old Dell case to put everything in, if it'll fit. Don't know. Okay, my one last shot is to pull out my PCI Express cards and use that PCI GeForce to see if maybe it's the PCIe slot. I don't know. Just to see if it'll actually display anything. And sure enough, nothing displayed. So it's something I did wrong, or is there something wrong with the motherboard to begin with. So, I might pull apart my working Dell and try and get that motherboard in the case. Like I said, the only thing I don't like about that is that fan, which has a broken fin. I'm sure I can find a way to replace it, but this fan is incredibly noisy. So I might be able to take the fan off because that Dell has its own case. What is... oh. Oops, I was accidentally hitting the zoom button. So I might pull apart my working Dell XP computer, put that motherboard in it, and try and, with this blade gone, this fan sucks. But I might not even have to plug in the fan. I might be able to get the heatsink on there and use the little shroud through its own fan. I don't know. I'll find a way. I don't know. But this is wasted a bunch of time on, but that's me plus building PCs. That's my luck. It takes me forever. It takes me a week. I have the worst luck in building PCs or putting Linux on things or messing with laptops, and I have the worst luck ever. But so I'm gonna try and build that motherboard into my old Dell case, because again this fan is broken, so I figure I can use the Dell shroud in the fan shroud, or maybe I can find a way to put it in on this one. I don't know, we'll see. So until then, I'll let you know if I succeed at anything today. So comparing the Vaio case to the Dell case by Juki, I might actually be able to transfer this motherboard with all the innards, the new power supply and everything, into this old Dell case. So that way I'll have a souped up Dell. And then be done with the parts of this. Granted, that means I have to take the risk of breaking my working XP computer to try and put another computer in it. So, risk versus reward, we'll see. Wish me luck. And here it is, the infamous Celeron C. For taking a look at this Dell's motherboard and comparing it to this Sony Vaio's motherboard, honestly, they have the exact same layout. So identically, I could probably put this in there and not have any too much problems as far as spacing and all that, because this case and this motherboard is identical to this case and this motherboard. So it's worth a shot, because again, the case I wanted, the motherboard I was wanting to use, doesn't seem to be working. I don't know if it's something I screwed up. Probably. It was probably like a simple solution. Maybe I gotta put the RAM in harder or something. Smash it. Maybe I just gotta put the RAM in. I don't know. Maybe I didn't put something in right. Maybe, or maybe it's just an old motherboard for a broken Dell. There's always that. But Celeron, the infamous Celeron. And that chip, whenever I pulled up the heatsink, was just stuck to it. And I don't have any heat paste, but it's probably going to be alright. Yep, so the infamous Celeron. Put it in. Man. And then, yeah. One of the most hated chips in chip history. Right there. For your viewing pleasure. Delicious. And nutritious. I'm just kidding. Alright, so there's the Dell Inspiron, or which one is this? Dimension 2400 with its Celeron processor. The motherboard is out. And I also have to note that on this Sony Vaio, I know this motherboard works. I actually had it up and running as like a Linux machine at one time. At least the last time I checked it worked. So unless it somehow broke, which could have, you know, dry rot and all this other fun stuff. But what kind of RAM do I got on here? It's PC 3200, DDR 250. So I got like seven. I got a 512 stick and a 256 stick. So maybe I could have upgraded the RAM, but again with the Celeron processor. And this is the a computer my mom bought in like 2004, 2005. So this is the original motherboard, the original processor. When my big computer broke and I wanted to make YouTube, she gave me her old computer, and I found a way to make it work again with my the PCI graphics card, because there is no PCI Express slot, and it's run pretty well. And again, this is working. Now the real question is, what do I do with this after I guess I could sell it, or I don't know. I've been looking at, like I said, I was looking at Windows XP computer parts online, and people are wanting way too much money for them. So I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it just in case. I don't know. But whatever's left in that tower there, I'm gonna recycle. But so this case isn't as hard drive friendly. Here's the 40 gig I have in here, which has Windows XP on it. Again, this is a working computer, or was. And then here's my 200 and something gig that blew out on me recently, within the last year. And then this old power supply I got from my brother-in-law, because I got rid of the old, I think it only had like a 150 watt or something like that in here before, or something tiny. But this thing had more watt. I don't even know. Allied. I don't even know. That's a pretty retro brand, because he gave it to me like early 2000s, 2002, 2001, 2003. So, and it was old then. So anyway, so back to, I'll just skip to the final build, and well, I'll let you know if this thing boots up. And I know that motherboard does. And yes, this is how I work, by the way. Messy, but then I clean it up at the end. You know, the RAM oil over there, that cleans all the computer components and all the lead and the gunpowder off of your... that was just there. I'm sorry. Okay, just to be clear, the reason I'm using the Dell case is because I broke this fan that was on the heatsink. And the Dell case has that shroud, and I'm hoping maybe with the heatsink and the Dell there won't be any overheating issues. If not, I should probably definitely look into picking up another one of these. Just to put on here, I had to break off the little thing so I get my screwdriver in there, but it's already broken. Unless there's a way just to replace these, this plastic piece right here, but I'll figure something out, I'm sure. And since the A drive in this Dell barely works, I'm actually going to transfer over this weird little SD card and SM picture card and whatever the heck these other two are that I'm not familiar with slot. I might be a boomer, but I'm not quite that much of a boomer. But just to put it where the A drive is, because again, this thing is it'll read a disk, you know, like in like 5 hours. But honestly, I should get like a USB A drive or something just to have one handy. But this thing seen better days. Obviously, look at all the dust on it. I have to pull these out. It's actually pretty amazing how close this Dell case is to that Sony case, to where the I/O shield fits and everything lines up just perfectly. I guess there were a lot of basic case designs or similar case designs at the time, or maybe it's like the same company, just one made them for Sony, one made it for Dell. I don't know. Did Dell produce their own cases, or did Sony rip them off, or is it just kind of the standard for the kind of motherboards they had at the time? That's interesting, to say the least. But yeah, the motherboard will fit in here, it's just these things are blocking it, so it's weird. Okay, again,
Obviously, I probably need to replace this fan, but again, when this thing is on, it sounds terrible, like something grinding. It's horrible because it's missing a fin. The reason I chose the Dell case is because it does have this little shroud that comes right from the fan and goes onto the processor. I'm hoping maybe that'd be enough to keep it cool enough. I don't know how hot a Pentuim D runs. Obviously the cooling tower from that XPS case is gigantic. So, I don't know. Hopefully, we'll see. Oh, that's like a freaking radiator right there, bro. First cable management, but we'll see. I'm almost done getting it together to see if it'll post, so to speak. I've got, again, tried one of these graphics cards, and if not, the onboard. This motherboard has an onboard card, so that way I could diagnose. Maybe there was nothing wrong with this Dell here. It's a very good chance. I'm just not really good at diagnosing PC problems. That's why I'm not a PC build channel. I'm a retro gaming, mostly console channel. Specifically because, yeah, such a pain in the butt. But I do know how to... I've had enough PC issues in my life to try and put one together, like I said. And then, of course, I have my own XP disc and stuff. But first I want to see if it'll actually run. That'd be nice. And I don't need the Ethernet card because this is Cisco's Network Magic. It's a little plug-and-play USB network adapter, and it works on everything. It works on my Linux systems. It works on my old Dell, because it couldn't recognize its Ethernet port once I put a different copy of Windows on it. Don't ask me why, but this thing for a wireless adapter is pretty amazing. So Cisco Network Adapter, not a paid promotion, but if you ever find one of these things, they're useful. Like I said, laptop, Linux, it just works. It's a good product, and I recommend it if you find one. And it's a snug fit, but it fits. Still might be able to put a fan on that, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully that's enough. Again, I don't know how hot a Pentuim D runs, and I don't know if it runs any hotter than my little Celeron, because from what I've heard, that was one of the things about the Celerons is they didn't run that fast, because this was the heatsink that was in there, and that's a pretty beefy little thing too for a little Celeron. So, we'll see. Hopefully. If not, I do have a secondary processor that's the exact identical. It's actually pretty cool that I got two computers that had the same processor. So, anyways, on to building and cable management, or mostly just seeing if this thing will boot up and post, I guess is the word. Alright, I think I have everything right for this. I just watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, so I expect a Clark Griswold moment. Let me turn the back power on. Let me see if the power switch works. And of course it doesn't, because why would it? This is my luck, and this is my life. It turns out that I just turned off the power, which, you know. Ooh. That would be a very fast spinning Quake 2 in that disk drive. I just used the regular disk drive, but okay. Nothing coming from the graphics card. Let me try the onboard. Alright, I pulled the graphics card out, and therefore all it has is the onboard. Would you just do something? Do anything? Of course not. That means I wasted an entire day on this. Dismantled my one working XP computer for a computer that just ain't working. Neither of them. Alright. One more time with the GeForce 6. And when this doesn't work, because it never will and it never does, because this is my luck in my life, insert and cue Clark Griswold style cursing tirade. Just not on camera. But here goes. Really? I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I've wasted an entire day of my life trying to figure this crap out. And of course not. Of course not. Well, it turns out I made a goober mistake. I forgot to plug in the processor. The little 4-pin socket. Which now I'm trying to remember if I remember to plug that in on that computer. If not, I'll have to test that sometime, so let's try this one more time. Okay. There's my keyboard. Let me see here. I'll try the onboard instead. After wasting an entire day on this better freaking work. Or I kill something. Oh. Holy crap. F2. System date time. So, GPU. Single XD technology. Enable. Okay. Oh, look at this. Holy crap. That means I might have... No, I swear I plugged it in on that one. Oh well. I mean, in the end, they're pretty much equal PCs anyway, so... But hey, maybe I can get some DDR2 and then I can have two decent XP rigs. But, let me see. Okay, let me see. Processor speed, bus speed. Okay. So one of these cards I bought years ago, and I'm pretty sure the seller who sent it to me off of eBay knew it was bricked, and that might be that one. So I'm going to save and exit. Unless you have to... Cause can't you turn them on? To the BIOS? Oh, XP Home Edition or Ubuntu? Let me see this. I guess I dual booted them. I guess I dual booted on this computer. Huh. That's interesting. And it's the same motherboard and hard drive, so I pretty much already have the computer ready to go. Huh. So I can do Ubuntu or XP. That's pretty cool. Where did I put that mouse? Oh, it's right here. Sweet. Properties. You can right click on my computer to find out what you're running. All programs. Did I really forget how to use XP? Come on. All programs. Why is this a gimped version of XP? That's weird. Maybe I haven't activated it. But, strange. So I already had XP on this hard drive. I guess I dual booted it with Ubuntu. But I'm going to wipe it and just put XP on this legit. which this is a legit copy with my own CD key because I bought a copy. Alright, I'm going to try a different graphics card though, because I think that one's the bricked. This one, eBay sellers purposely selling crappy things. Alright, and just double checking to see if maybe my problems with this Dell here was that I just forgot to plug in the processor like with the other one, but I don't know, we'll see. So let's see. Still could be a motherboard issue. It's on, the processor is plugged in, the old power supply, and still no display. So, that is definitely not the problem with this Dell. Alright, so basically, this build is stopped by a fan. Because when I put the shroud on with this little fan thing, this thing got so hot it was smelling like plastic. Burnt plastic. Which I kind of expected, considering the cooler on the other one is basically a radiator for a vehicle. Same consistency. And they had this gigantic fan in the Dell, which has no plug that will work on this motherboard. So if I was more PC literate, I'd find some way to wire that in to work on this, and then I'd have a really nice fan. Or I could just use like my big shop fan and just blow it inside the computer, which actually is probably one way to go about it, just to cool down the PC processor. But so it boots. It just gets way too hot. So I sort of made a XP computer today out of random parts, or mostly just started. I should have just started with this computer anyways, and I don't know. What a pain in my butt today. Like, this is an entire day project, so no great resolution to this until I get a fan, because this thing is super, super hot. Even though I tried to different. So, the onboard works. I'm guessing I have to download the display drivers for NVIDIA, but I have to do that when this thing isn't trying to, burn this motherboard down. So, my only resolution to this video is there is no resolution yet. This is my luck. 2D gamer's luck. When working with computers. Because, that's just my luck. That's just how it's been. But, I will have a running XP computer. Well, I had a running XP computer. I just took it apart today to put it in this case. So, it'll be hidden in this Dell case. Which I don't mind, because I like the Dell case better than the Vio case anyways. So, and the rest of it, should I take it downrange or to the recycle? I haven't figured that part out yet. But I am annoyed. So, there is no resolution. Well, whatever the onboard graphics resolution is, tee. But when I get a fan for this thing, I just ordered it. It'll be in whenever, and then I'll put on my copy of Windows XP. Which I should have the box here somewhere. But so there you have it, just a failed-ish PC build. So the onboard works, and then I gotta figure out which graphics cards work. Again, the little PCI one that was in my old Dell I know works for sure. And the others I gotta figure out. Maybe I should get one with an AGP slot, because I got 2 AGP cards, retro. No, I'm not that much of a builder geek or retro builder geek. But, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna go get some food, go for a drive, come home, and clean this crap up. And try not to step on screws, because they're everywhere. I had them secluded, but then I knocked that place over, and then it's like, screw it. Discipline always breaks down near the end for me. So at the end of the day, I basically just took one computer's guts and put it into another case, because all these parts were already in the VIO system. I took apart my Dell, which was working, and could still work again. But then again, I did find out that that one over there, ignore that coffee cup on the floor I've been meaning to pick up, that one over there does not work. At least I couldn't get it to work. So at least I know that I can toss that one or recycle or whatever. I upgraded my, XP rig, so I've been meaning to. I definitely need to. The Dell was having issues. One of the hard drives blew, so maybe it was having power supply issues. Maybe it's just one of those, it's getting about close to that time for this, but still works though. Not great again. Celeron, evil Celeron, but and in the future, if I want an XP rig, I'm just going to run a virtual PC. Quite possibly on, like, one of these little things. You see, this thing right here, Everyday Computing E-Machine, has actually Linux Mint 19 on it, I believe. So, I like to geek out and don't really consider myself like a tech hoarder, but I have a few working computers, playing with Linux a little bit, because Linux is cool too. Not really cool for gaming, but keep my XP rig, keep a Linux rig, and I even have a little crappy old laptop that I managed to get a version of Linux running. Another Dell, by the way. Oh yes, Linux. So fun to toy with, yet so useless. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of cool things you can do with it. Like word processors and stuff. But, yeah, cool vibe for Linux. Linux Mint. Which I heard a lot of people were switching over to because a lot of Windows 7 users and fans. I don't know. I cannot confirm this, but there's a working E-Machines potato. Granted, I have an HP potato that I use for this video to edit, so sometimes little pre-builds aren't bad, and with the difficulties you see that I have just trying to get something as simple as an XP rig together, now you see why I have in the past bought pre-builds. Just 'cause I'm terrible at this and computers hate me. So, oh look, OpenShot Video Editor. I wonder. Open Arena, which won't work because I don't know why. Sudo get Open Arena to work, you son of a gun. Okay, I guess they have Steam on Linux now, so I'll shut up about Linux being useless for gaming. It's just mostly useless.